Hello, lovely people. How are we all doing? I hope we are doing well. So today we're here for two reasons. Number one, we're here to talk about a little bit of drama. Not something I ever do, but something that has affected me a little bit, and I would like to kind of talk about it and get your guys' perspectives. I think discussion is always a great thing. It's not something I usually do on the channel, but also I'm not usually affected by drama very often, or like have it be something that could influence me going forward as well. So something we're going to talk about, and then also we're going to react to the Endfield special trailer to hopefully just boost us all up at the end. So we'll start with the drama because I think that's probably the best place to start. So we're going to be talking about the Endfield beta test invite drama and how that's been affecting the community and what's kind of been going on with it, really. I'm sure you guys have already seen some videos kind of covering this, but I don't know much about the CN servers, but on global, people have not been happy with the beta access invite. It seems that people definitely believe that there has been a priority placed on content creators and streamers with getting this access. From my experience, from what I've seen, I will say I've seen a mix. I've definitely seen content creators getting access. I've seen content creators who I know are Arknights content creators not getting access. And I've seen people tell me in my server and tell me on my stream and stuff that they've gotten access, and people tell me that they haven't. So I've seen a mix. I wouldn't necessarily say that I've seen people that aren't Arknights content creators, like non-AK creators, getting prioritized, but people have definitely fed back to me that that has been the case. And I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about why I think that might be, what I think they might be doing, and is this actually the case? I think the truth is we're not really going to know until people start playing it and streaming it. I think some people have maybe gotten access and kind of not clarified that. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are not content creators that have gotten access that just haven't posted on social media that they've got access. Some people just aren't on socials. I think there's a lot of people like that that maybe don't necessarily get taken into account because they're not necessarily part of the active discussions or communities online. But I reckon there will be a lot of people like that who have gotten access. But in the Discord, on socials, it does seem that there seems to be a good portion of the fan base that play Arknights that have not gotten access. And one of the things I wanted to talk about is that why this might be the case. I'm not a game developer. I am not working for the company. This is just my opinion for how I think gacha advertisement works. And I say the word advertisement because I think that's going to play a huge role in it and a huge role in Arknights Endfield going forward. Now, this is the beta, right? We have the final game hopefully coming out. I've heard July, I've heard August, I've heard October, who knows? This year, end of this year, we should have Endfield, which is great, This is the beta test, so this is obviously the closest that we are going to get to the final product unless there is some massive mistakes. So for this, because this is a very different game to Arknights, I think some of the main qualms that people have specifically been in the game, and I think that content creators that I've seen that are not Arknights content creators that have gotten access are content creators that do cover games such as Genshin, Woowa, Honkai Star Rail. Actually, to be honest, they're the main ones. I mean, there will be other ones, but like they're like the big ones, the good big ones that a lot of people compare. Oh, and Zenless Zone Zero. I always forget that one. Sorry. It's because I've never made content with it really, and it's not really in my space. But so I think that a lot of comparisons online that are made between Endfield are going to be to those games. I think it's a very, very common comparison point. People always term these games Genshin killers. You know, I think it's a very common thing to compare these games. And I think that if you have a content creator not actively create content for Arknights, but they do create content for these other games, and they have quite big audiences, you're doing two things. Number one, you're exposing your game to a new audience, aka free advertisement. A company that wants their game to be successful and a company that wants to break open to a new audience, wants them to give their gacha game a chance, needs to advertise it. And one of the best ways that we know of advertising gacha games is through content creation, is through streamers. Like, look how big some of the streamers are on, like, Twitch, for example. They're some of the biggest content creators on that platform. Like, content creation for gacha is huge over there, and I think it really benefits them to not only get the feedback of those content creators that are making that content and actively play those other games, because they're going to give a bit more of a non-biased perspective, say, because they don't have an Arknights background, and they will be brutally honest about it, because there's nothing in it for them if they are or aren't. They're not getting paid to do this beta. There's nothing like that going on. But also, it exposes the audience to a game that they might give a go. And also, to be honest, they can see the feedback actively in those streams. They can look at it and go, oh, a lot of people really reacted negatively to that. Maybe we should take that on board. It's a great way of them getting feedback. If you've got a stream of 10,000 people watching someone play Endfield, that's a great way of getting feedback for that. And I think that in the Arknights community, there are definitely big Arknights content creators, but I wouldn't necessarily say there's huge Arknights content creators that are to the point of like Genshin content creators and Zenless Zone Zero and Honkai Star Rail and Woo. I would say that there are content creators for those games that are huge, way bigger than a good portion of the Arknights content creators I at least know of, at least in global. CN, I can't speak of, I don't know, but in global, I would not say I know of any content creators that are bigger or have more of an audience or a reach than content creators for other games. So for the company, it does make sense. It makes sense that they would give them access, because yes, they have to play this from a business perspective as well. This is the closest footage that we are getting before the final game release. I doubt they're going to do another beta test. So realistically, yeah, they want them to be playing this game. They want that advertisement out there, and they want these content creators to get hooked on this content so that long term they will make this content as well. So they want to do that, absolutely. I think that there was a general misunderstanding about content creators also applying for the content creation program. Some kind of feedback that I had, especially in a stream that I had, there was kind of discussion about it, was people seemed to think that if content creators had applied to the content creation program that they got beta access. I can confirm that is not the case. Just because you got into the content creation program for Endfield, it does not guarantee you beta access. They made that extremely clear on application. It did not guarantee you access. So everyone was applying to the same pool as everyone else. So you had to put in a lot of details. I'm sure everyone who applied knows. You had to put in a lot of information. And I think that the response was there was a general consensus that the beta access for content creators should have been separate to the beta access for the general public. I don't know if I believe that's the case, because I think that they were assessing this on a case-by-case basis and also by how good your PC is. Also, I don't know if they were looking at people that had alpha access. I don't know if they wanted different people. I don't know if they wanted continuity. I'm not sure. But for me, in regards to content creators who are not Arknights based getting access, to me it does make sense. I do understand why they're doing it. Is it going to make people happy? Probably not, no. But I do understand why they've done that. It might not be the case, but to me, logically, it's a smart business move to advertise your game that way, especially with content creators that are big CCs in other games that are gacha, because you have an audience that's interested in gacha games. So it just makes sense. I think also there has been a bit of a consensus that I think a lot of Arknights players who are long-term players felt very pushed aside for maybe newer players who don't necessarily know the story of Arknights. And I think it's really important when you do these beta tests and alpha tests to get a mixed feedback of people who know the story and the people who don't. And I'm sure that there are plenty of people that have gotten access that know the story of Arknights extraordinarily well. And I'm sure there's people who got access that have no idea. But I think that, unfortunately, it seems that a good portion of the vocal base online did not get access. And I think I understand the upset, and I understand the frustration, and I understand people just want to play this game. It would be a shame to let beta access invites get in the way of people enjoying the experience, and really hope that people don't lash out at content creators that have gotten access. I hope that they don't let it get in the way of them enjoying the content and the streams and giving feedback in the community in general, and I really hope that there isn't hate thrown towards people that have gotten this access and that are going to be part of it. I think at the end of the day, I think everyone's just so excited to get into the game, and I also think that it's really hard to do things to keep everyone happy, but I think that we as individuals can play our own part in the internet and have our own positive influence on things and not encourage behaviors. And I really hope that anyone who watches this video really, especially if you were quite angry about these kinds of things, really does think about how your words and the things that you say or type can really influence other people. And I just really hope that people can keep the positivity and the love for Endfield that everyone is showing already and not let this ruin that experience for not only people who are new to the game, but also people that have gotten into this beta. So I would say and ask you to please support content creators that are covering content on this game or that are interested in this game. Please do not send hate their way. I don't see the point, and it's just not necessary. But I also can understand your frustration and your upset, and I really hope that anyone who didn't get access that really, really wanted it will be okay. I think on that note, let's talk about something a bit more upbeat. Let's end the video on a good note. Let's watch this special trailer. I'm excited to see if they've got any like lore stuff and things like that. I'm pretty excited actually. I'm hoping.
18.5. The average equatorial temperature of Talos 2.
Oh, this reminds me of how they do it in Arknights.
Region of uncharted possibilities. Some say it is our cradle. Others treat it as our fated resting place. We embarked upon a campaign of no return. We lost many friends in the journey.
Damn.
Through their sacrifices, we prospered.
What does the feather mean? Do we know what the feather means?
The PAP and the factory will create havens in hostile environments. And use them to connect people.
Oh.
We bring hope. Amidst the chaos of the frontier, we shall build.
Oh, the factories. Everyone's so excited for the factories. I'm like dreading it.
Fight.
Did they just cure that? Oropathy. Did they just cure the oropathy? Wait. I've got so many questions.
Forward.
This is so hype. Oh my god.
Into the deepest ends of the north, where the truth may be revealed. I believe the stars themselves hold the key for our world. We are the Endfield.
Oh, yeah, baby! Oh, I'm so excited. Holy shit.
Witness the past, present, and future of Talos 2.
Hang on a second. Oh, is that the administrator's
Endfield
little
needs you.
casket?
And so do I, Administrator.
Ooh! Is that? I think that's meant to be like the casket. I always forget the actual name of it. Sarcophagus? Sarcophagus. I think. I do play Arknights. I do somehow know some of the lore. I do take it in at some point. Hang on a minute. I want to see what book she's reading. I feel like that's going to give us a hint. The little... What's the feather about? You know anything about this book? Anyone know? Is it a real book? I'm curious. I'm curious as to what this means. But the feather being there, I feel like there is some there's significance to this feather. Don't know what it is, but it is significant. So that was a really interesting trailer because first of all, the English voice acting, it is pretty great. I am quite enjoying it so far. So Perlica's voice, clearly kind of playing the role for Calcit for us in this. Obviously a little bit different, but I like the fact that this is basically, it sounds like it's set before the actual game begins. So I think this is a really nice little intro trailer into what we can expect and what is going to be going on in the story, and a little bit about the history of things that have happened. It looks like they cured the uropathy, which is fascinating. And I think, to be fair, in this, it's more to do with the blight, isn't it? So it is a different version of the uropathy, as far as I believe. This is why it's going to be good for me to replay it, because I need to take back in the story. Big focus is going to be on the story for me, like this time. Like, I think if they've sorted out the gameplay problems I had last time, big thing for me is the story, and if they've improved it and made it a lot more interactive. Oh, it's on the eve, not on the eye. On the eve. Oh, on the eve. Oh, that's fascinating, because it'll be like on the eve of the waking up, maybe. The administrator. Or isn't there something to do with, like, oh no, I'm thinking of Eve Online. I'm thinking of the spaceship. I was like, I don't think that's an actual canon thing in this game. Just like Endfield is actually canon in this Eve universe. That'd be a twist. I'd be like, oh, okay. Interestingly, I think that having this little introduction with, you know, the role that everyone's playing and the fact that they're kind of currently trying to survive, but they need to travel up north and find out more about what's happening, that kind of sounds like the direction that the story's going to be headed in, things are going to be headed in. So I'm really fascinated to see where we get to. I'm also really interested to know, like, the characters that are going to show up. Are we going to get to finally see the gacha system? That's a huge question for me, is are we going to get to see this flipping gacha system? Because I'm concerned. I am concerned that it's going to be like other gacha games that screw me over on the regular. If they made it like the Arknights one, I don't think I'd have a problem. But when it obviously can't be like the... Oh, no, it could be kind of similar to... I don't know if they... I reckon they'll make it like the, like, Genshin one or something. Like, I reckon it'll be like a Genshin or Woo or something, and I'm gonna be getting screwed over every single time I want a character. I'm gonna have to pick and choose. But overall, interesting sight into Endfield, interesting sight into the story, why we need the administrator. Still wondering about administrator lore. That is probably one of the biggest questions I have, is the administrator just the doctor? Because I think so. But I guess we'll find out. Well, we're not going to find out in this beta, but we'll find out some more stuff, so I'm quite fascinated. Also had the factory stuff in there. I will say, I feel like that's the thing I've seen people be the most hype about, is the factory. Which is crazy, because I'm completely the opposite. I'm just like, everyone's like, can't wait to build, and I'm like, I cannot think of anything worse to spend 10 hours on. I was like, I want to run around and do combat and do the story and have a template that I can put down, and that is my factory. Or I'm going to be looking to certain content creators, you know who you are, for their guides. So unless I fall in love with it, who knows? Maybe it's going to be my new fave thing. I don't know. We'll find out. This was a cute little preview. I enjoyed it. I'm curious about the curing uropathy though, like, and like the time skip. They still haven't said when this new time skip is. We need to know. I'm so curious. Oh, can't wait. I can't wait for more. This is so hype. So just for anyone who is interested, and just to let you know, I will be covering the Arknights Endfield beta on this channel. I have announced I'm not going to be doing it in a streaming format. I am going to be doing it in a Let's Play format, just so I can kind of post videos on certain things, and I can basically spend my time, play it as much as I want, really go over stuff, and I'll be covering and posting videos on it as I go through the beta. So I really hope if you guys are interested that you will check that out. And thank you very much for watching this video on stuff that I never usually address, but I thought it was important because I think it's something that has really affected the Endfield community and potentially affected the hype a little bit, and I just really wanted to give my kind of input and say so, especially from a content creator perspective. So I really hope that that is something that you guys can take on. And if you've got any discussions, or you got anything that you disagree with what I've said, or you want to say how this has impacted you or anything like that, please do let me know down in the comments below. We're always up for a discussion here, as long as we keep it all lovely and friendly. If you want to as well, we do have a Discord. We have an Arknights section. We are going to create an Arknights Endfield section separately. I'm working on my Discord at the moment, so it will be getting sorted. So if you want to discuss things about that in there, I will make sure that is available for when the beta access begins. So people who are also in the beta, if you want to post things in there and all that kind of stuff, it's a nice safe channel that people know is going to be kind of spoilery for the beta. And we do also have TikTok, we have Twitter, all those good things, and obviously the YouTube. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys hopefully in the next video. Have an amazing rest of your day.